Registration starts at 8, the read starts at 9. I want to say 35 now, the pre-registration's over. Yeah, right now 49 and then
All right, good evening everyone. It's 7 o'clock. It's time to call the November 4th, 2014 meeting of the Whitehall City Council to order for the purpose of considering such matters that may come before it. May I ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silence for the standing for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Kirkland, please call the roll.
LaPorte.
Present.
Morrison.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
Rodriguez. Gray.
Here.
Coniston.
Here.
Cantor. And President Grant.
Present.
Mr. President, move to excuse the absent members.
Second. A motion by Mr. Bailey and second by Mr. Gregg to excuse the absent members. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaPorte.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The absent members have been excused. Next, we have our approval of minutes from the October 21, 2014 agenda and regular meeting.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda and regular meeting minutes of October 21st. Second.
Motion by Ms. Coniston, second by Mr. Ford for the approval of the October 21 agenda and regular meeting minutes. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaPorte.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The October 21 minutes have been approved. Next, now we have a special presentation from the Whitehall Division of Fire for the Distinguished Citizen Medal. And if all involved, because I'm not sure which one of you guys is going to do this, but come on up, introduce yourselves.
I'd just like to give you a background for a second.
Sure.
Years ago, when the Division of Fire established their medal program, we put a provision in there for the firefighters and members of the Division of Fire that could recognize a citizen for exemplary service. And the firefighters this year had recognized Danielle and nominated her for the Citizen of the Year award, or for the Distinguished Citizen Medal. And I'd like to read you the document the awards committee brought to me. This is Danielle. While waiting at the bus stop located at Broad Fairway on the afternoon of July 7th, 2014, Danielle witnessed a man pass out and hit the ground. Danielle quickly instructed another citizen to activate the 911 system as she began to assess the fallen man. Danielle determined the man to be pulseless and apneic and immediately began CPR. Danielle considered CPR until our personnel arrived on the scene. Personnel from both our engine company and a medic unit commented on the excellent technique and effectiveness of Danielle's CPR efforts. A follow-up with Mount Carmel East revealed that the patient lived an additional 7 days in the hospital prior to passing away. The study of pre-hospital emergency care illustrates with overwhelming certainty that early and effective CPR has the number one impact on the sustainability of life of someone who is experiencing cardiac arrest. Danielle's immediate intervention undoubtedly helped extend the patient's life. The highly recognized symbol of fire service is the Maltese Cross. Originating on the island of Malta, it symbolizes bravery, sacrifice, and courage. Each of its 8 points represents a beatitude and is meant to be a constant reminder of the origin of the mission of those who are committed to helping their fellow man. Danielle's actions on July 7th coincide with many of these principles and truths. It's a great honor we present this award to Danielle and wish her Godspeed as she lives out her life. And we have a very nice...
Mr. President, if I may, I'd like Danielle to introduce the two ladies who came in with her.
And actually, she could introduce herself.
Introduce yourself.
Danielle Davis. I work for Mount Carmel. That's where I was trained. I'm glad I was in a place that I was able to help somebody.
What'd you bring with you?
I brought my mom and this is my little sister.
Danielle, hold the medal up so everyone out there can see it, because I don't think it was shown to the audience how impressive.
Preston, did you recruit her for cert?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you for allowing us to
All right, moving on with our agenda, we have the first opportunity for all public. If anyone would like to address council, now would be your opportunity. We'll move on to our standing committee reports, and we'll begin with administration and financial management. Chairperson Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration and Financial Management did meet last Tuesday, or minutes are on file, and I think we're going to be meeting next Tuesday sometime after 6:30.
All right, thank you, sir. Community engagement, Chairperson Coniston.
Thank you, President Grant. Community engagement met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we'll meet again in the back next week, sometime after 6:30.
Thank you. Next, we have community standards and enforcement. That's Chairperson Rodriguez. He's unable to attend the meeting this evening. However, they did meet last Tuesday. Their minutes are on file, and they do have several pieces of legislation before us this evening. Next is economic development. Chairperson McCord.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development also met last Tuesday. We really didn't go over too much. Zach did let us know, though, the development director did say that the Oasis building is now coming down for the new development there in Hamilton and Pa. So that's a great beginning to a long time coming that we've been working on, so we're excited about that. And then that we're going to meet next week sometime after 6:30 in the back.
All right, thank you. Infrastructure maintenance and services, Chairperson Gray.
Thank you, Mr. President. Infrastructure maintenance service also met last week. My minutes are on file, and we'll meet again sometime in the back after 6:30 next week.
All right, public safety, Chairperson Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public safety also met last Tuesday. Our minutes are on file, and we'll see next Tuesday sometime after 6:30.
All right, thank you, sir. That brings us to Parks and Recreation, Chairperson Canner. He is also unable to attend this evening's meeting. However, he did give an update on some things that are going on at the parks, and they will also meet next Tuesday sometime after 6:30. Those are all the standing committee reports. That brings us to our officials' reports, and we'll begin with our mayor, Ms. Kim Macker.
Good evening. I would like council's favorable consideration of ordinances 76 and 77. And I would just like to remind council and everyone out there that we did receive a new medic last Friday. And I do believe it's beautiful because it's so shiny, and I like shiny and sparkly. But it's very roomy on the inside, very state-of-the-art, computers everywhere. And it's exactly what we need to keep up with life-saving technology in the city of Whitehall. So I'm very proud of our fire department for staying up to date with life-saving equipment. Other than that, I have no further.
That brings us to our auditor, Mr. Dan Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I have no official report. I would like to ask for favorable consideration on ordinances 72 and 82 and resolution 10.
Our Director of Public Service, Mr. Chuck Underwood.
Public safety.
I'm sorry, you're right, absolutely right. I just so used to saying, never mind.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I have no official report this evening, but from my vantage point, I can see what happens out in the lobby. And after the presentation earlier, Ms. Davis was warmly congratulated on each and every member of the fire department. They take special pleasure in honoring her for basically a job well done, and we hope to have more presentations like this in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Those are, other than myself, those are all the officials' reports. Council, has not received any new officials' reports at this time. That brings us to our communications, petitions, and claims. We have 3 items that are listed on the agenda, and we've also received the following additional items. A notice from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, application for transfer of the C2 permit of Ohio CVS Stores, LLC, DBA CVS Pharmacy, number 6163, 711 Park Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43085, to Ohio CVS Stores, LLC, DBA CVS Pharmacy, number 6946, 4548 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213. Those are all the communications and petitions and claims we have. That brings us to our scheduled public hearing this evening on ordinance 66, 2014. However, that public hearing has been canceled due to it being pulled from our agenda. Next, we have our verification of copies. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll on whether each member of council is given a copy of each item of legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting, including any add-on legislation.
LaCourte,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
That brings us to our third readings for this evening. We begin with ordinance 66, 2014. It's amending the zoning map attached to chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall, Ohio, and is subsequently amended, changing the zoning on property located at East Broad Street and Robinwood Avenue from office district to general commerce district, property owned by Saggy Realty, LTD, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to table 66, 2014 indefinitely.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. LaCourte and a second by Mr. Morrison for the indefinite tabling of ordinance 66, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourte,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 66, 2014 has been tabled. Next, we have ordinance 72, 2014. It's transferring $101,441.29 from previously unappropriated monies in the general fund to the tax incentive program fund and making a supplemental appropriation of $101,441.29 from account 28000500000, maybe one more zero, I'm not sure. Okay, and authorizing an income tax revenue sharing payment to the affected school district from the tax incentive expense account in the amount of $101,441.29 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 72, 2014.
Second.
I Have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Ms. Coniston for the introduction and adoption of ordinance 72, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 72, 2014 has been adopted. Those are all the items we have on the third reading. Under second reading, we have ordinance 74, 2014, approving and making appropriation transfers in the total amount of $34,000 from various expense accounts to the general fund, to the income tax refunds account and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. Our next ordinance is 76, 2014, is transferring $6,873.09 from various expense accounts into WMPITIE fund to the debt service fund, making a $6,873.09. Wait a minute here. From the debt service fund to the debt service expense account and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 76, 2014, move for suspension of the rules.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Mr. Morrison for the introduction and suspension of rules on ordinance 76, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on ordinance 76, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Morrison for adoption of ordinance 76, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 76, 2014 has been adopted. That brings us to ordinance 77, 2014. It's making and approving a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $50,000 from the unappropriated monies in the technology fund to the technology expense account and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 77, 2014, move for suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Gregg for the introduction and suspension of rules on ordinance 77, 2014. Questions or comments? Mr. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on ordinance 77, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Gregg for adoption of ordinance 77, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 77, 2014 has been adopted. Next is ordinance 78, 2014. It's amending the zoning map attached to chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall, Ohio, and as subsequently amended, allowing a special permit under 1123.10 C24 to allow Saggy Realty Limited to provide offices and meeting places for veteran services through a non-profit entity at 57 Robinwood Avenue, Whitehall, Ohio, property owned by Safe Auto Realty, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to table ordinance 78-2014 indefinitely.
Second.
Motion by Ms. LaCourt and a second by Ms. Coniston for the indefinite tabling of ordinance 78, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Excuse me. Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 78, 2014 has been tabled. Next, we have ordinance 79, 2014. It's amending the zoning map attached to chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall, Ohio, and as subsequently amended, allowing a special permit under 1123.10 C24 to allow Wade Ministries to provide space to conduct church services in a fellowship hall at 441 South Building Road, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213, property owned by Michael Redd and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. It is also scheduled for a public hearing on November 18, 2014. Our next item is ordinance 80, 2014, is to authorize the provision of certain tax exemptions within the Hamilton Road District Community Reinvestment Area for the purpose of encouraging economic development within the area and authorizing the execution of the related Community Reinvestment Area Agreement. That ordinance is being read by title only. Next we have a resolution. It's 49, 2014. It's recognizing and thanking Jerry Brooks for his heartfelt dedication to the city of Whitehall. That resolution is being read by title only. Next we have ordinance 81, 2014. It's amending the zoning act attached to chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall, Ohio, and as subsequently amended, changing the zoning on property located at 4801 East Broad Street from general commerce district to exceptional use property owned by Whitehall Assisted Living LLC and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. It also has been referred to the Planning Commission and with a public hearing set for December 2nd, 2014. Next we have ordinance 82, 2014. It's approving and making an appropriation transfer of $15,947.70 from the Clerk of Court computerization account to the Clerk of Court IT salary expense account and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce ordinance 82, 2014 to suspend the rules.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Mr. Morrison for the introduction and suspension of all rules on ordinance 82, 2014. Questions or comments? All right, Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on ordinance 82, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Morrison for adoption. Ordinance 82, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 82, 2014 has been adopted. Next we have resolution 50, 2014. It's resolving to approve then and now certificates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce resolution 50, 2014 with the suspension of all rules.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. LaCourt for the introduction and suspension of all rules on resolution 50, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on resolution 50, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. LaCourt for adoption of resolution 50, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCourt.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Resolution 50, 2014 has been adopted. Those are all the pieces of legislation we have before us this evening. That brings us to our second opportunity for full public. If anyone would like to address council, now will be your last opportunity for the evening. All right, and we'll move on to our community day board, and we'll begin with Gail.
Thank you, council. I just have a couple of things. This coming Saturday, as you all know, is the Employment for Seniors Working for a Living 5K. That will be that will start and finish at the band shell at John Bishop Park. The money goes to the Employment for Seniors organization, which supports seniors in searching for jobs. Registration begins at 8 a.m. and the race begins at 9 a.m. To see you all there. I'll be out there. Mayor will be out there running. He'll be running.
Well, maybe longer.
He'll be directing traffic.
That's all I need.
Depends on how cold I am. And then, as you all have, and as are by the door and on the seats over here, this coming Monday at Chipotle, the Pride of Whitehall is having a fundraiser for the Community Kids Christmas program, and so 50% of the cost of your meal will go toward helping kids here in Whitehall. So please pick up those and distribute them to all of your friends and neighbors. So that's this coming Monday. Then Tuesday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. will be the tree lighting here at City Hall out there. And then December 13th, I'm sure Karen will talk more about this, is Breakfast with Santa at 10 a.m. at Whitehall Community Park. So we've got going.
Actually, that will be over at the road
Oh, you
elementary
changed that.
this year. Yeah, it turned out so good last year that they've told us that we can come back. I didn't make too much of a mess in the kitchen, and actually I did, but we cleaned it up well. Yeah, I think you got everything there, yeah.
Does anyone else have anything for Community Day Board? All right, we'll move on to poll council, and we'll begin with Ms. LaCour.
Actually, I really don't have too much to say. I do want to just, kind of reach out with Danielle and what she did. I know there's been a couple times in my life that I've come in those situations where I needed to reach out to help somebody, and I've always had a personality where I just freeze and panic and run the other way. So, when you have somebody, and like she said, she, I had training and stuff with Mount Carmel, but it's something that, since those have occurred, it's something that I've always thought to do. And then when you hear somebody just never thinking in your everyday life that you're just going to watch somebody collapse like that, definitely gives the body, training help people in those situations. So I really am rather grateful for her strength that day and being able just to go up to a stranger and assist like that. So kudos to her. And I think it was very well honored how the fire department presented her with that. That's very touching. So, but other than that, stay warm this week and see you next week. 2 weeks early.
That brings us to Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also would like to thank Danielle for her quick thinking and response, and it was very, very good that the fire department recognized her for that effort, and thank everyone for coming. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing further to add.
That brings us to Mr. Gray.
I just want to say, thanks for coming, and obviously proud of our fire department and the recognition of our citizens, and kind of get that back started. It's kind of good to see someone that's doing well. Other than that, everybody have a good evening.
Thank you, President. Just like to thank everybody for coming. I was hoping that Danielle was going to stay because I wanted to kind of thank her for what she did here, but I also wanted to thank her just for her service over at Mount Carmel. Lately, I've been at that hospital more than anybody should be, and I have not run across one person that just doesn't need a medal. They're all just fantastic people, and I know they go to school for this, but they certainly go above and beyond what they've learned in school.
Thank you. That brings it to me. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. And I hope everyone had the opportunity to go vote today. It's your American right to do so, and I hope you exercised it, no matter who you voted for. And we had no other official business coming before us this evening. I will therefore entertain a motion of adjournment.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. LaCour for adjournment. Mr. Churchman, please call the roll.
LaCour,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.